There are games we play for fun, and some we never should have played at all. In tonight's tale, a group of friends thought it was just a creepy dare, but the rules were real, and the price was blood. Welcome to the Bleeding Hour. Subscribe now, before the next name is yours. It started with a message. Tara found the folded note inside her locker. No name, just her name, written in sharp, slanted ink. Inside, 6 words were scribbled.
Want to play the secret game.
She thought it was a joke, probably Derek or Kayla being weird again. But the note had something else, something that made her blood run cold. Coordinates, GPS coordinates, and a time, midnight. Come alone. Her fingers trembled as she read it again. Why midnight? Why alone? Tara was no stranger to games, but this felt different. It didn't feel like a prank. It felt like a dare. And the worst part? She was going to say yes. Tara followed the coordinates all the way to the old tennis courts behind the abandoned rec center. There were 4 others waiting, all from school. But not her friends. Like counting on her fingers, Danny, the overachiever, Luis, the quiet artist, Andre, the burnout, and Kim, the strange girl no one really knew. They stood in a circle, each one holding an identical envelope.
"This isn't a prank," she said. "This is the secret game. Once we start, we finish, or we disappear."
Tara hesitated, but she opened her envelope. Inside, a single card, typed in red block letters.
Rule 1. Do not tell anyone. Rule 2. Complete your task before sunrise. Rule 3. If you fail, you vanish.
She looked up. The others were reading the same card. No one spoke. Only Kim smiled. From her bag, she pulled out a small antique box. Inside, 5 slips of paper, tasks. Tara's hands were sweating now. She was about to pick her fate. Tara reached into the box. The paper was cold, old, slightly damp. She unfolded it with trembling hands.
Dig beneath locker, number 52, midnight, alone.
She looked up. Locker 52? That was in the gym, the one they closed after the fire last year. The one nobody was allowed near. Tara glanced at the others. Danny was pale. Luis looked down. Andre was already walking away. And Kim?
"You have until sunrise."
Tara wanted to walk away. She should have walked away. But something about the card, the box, the way the others moved without question. It felt like something was watching them, or waiting. And then Kim added one more thing.
"If you try to leave, the game follows you."
So Tara turned and headed for the gym. The gym smelled like smoke and mold. Its doors groaned as Tara slipped through. Her flashlight flickered once, then steadied. Dust hung in the air like mist. Locker 52 was at the far end, bent, rusty. She dragged it open. The hinges squealed like a scream. Inside, taped to the back wall, was an old photo, black and white. 5 kids. One of them looked just like her. Then she noticed the floor, a loose tile right beneath the locker. She pried it open using a screwdriver from her pocket. Underneath, a plastic bag. Inside the bag, a jar. And inside the jar, a tongue, shriveled, human. Wrapped around it, another note. The game began in 1973. The last player failed. Now it's your turn to finish what they couldn't. The gym went dark. Tara ran, but someone or something was following. Tara didn't stop running until she burst out of the gym's back exit. The night air hit her like ice. She leaned against the brick wall, trying to catch her breath. Her fingers still clutched the note, still shaking. And then, a text.
Good job, but we're not done yet.
Another one.
Check your kitchen wall.
Tara turned cold. She was home alone, but she hadn't told anyone she went back. She raced home, every light on, every lock checked, twice. She stepped into the kitchen, and on the wall, written in thick red letters,
You opened the box. Now the game is inside.
the paint wasn't paint. It was still wet, still warm. She backed away, and from the hallway, her bedroom door creaked open by itself. Tara stood frozen. The bedroom door creaked wider, just a crack, enough to show the darkness behind it.
She hadn't left it open.
She reached for her phone, but it was already ringing. The screen said, "Unknown." She answered.
You shouldn't have run.
Tara dropped the phone. The door swung open, fast. Inside, the room was empty, except a piece of string tied from the window lock to a nail in the wall. Someone had set it up, booby-trapped it. She looked down. On her bed, a teddy bear. Her childhood bear, missing since she was 10, and stitched across its chest.
Player 5.
Then, from under the bed,
Player 4's gone now. Your turn.
Tara bolted from the room, heart hammering, legs numb. She didn't look back, down the stairs, out the front door, into the night. She didn't stop running until she was blocks away. She ducked into a bus shelter, hands trembling, and finally called the one person who'd know what to do, Jen. Jen picked up, but something was wrong.
Hey, Tara. You still playing?
Tara's breath caught. Jen? Then,
Player 3 forfeited. Want to know how?
Tara ended the call, threw the phone onto the sidewalk. The screen shattered. But in the broken shards, a reflection. Someone, standing behind her, still watching from across the street.
You started the game, Tara. Why are you trying to quit?
Tara ran again. She didn't know where. Her mind raced. Who was that on the street? How did they have her old uniform? How did they sound like Jen? She turned a corner and ducked into an alley, tried to steady her breath. That's when her phone buzzed. The screen flickered. Just for a second, and showed something new.
Round 2 begins. New rule, no speaking after midnight.
Tara checked the time. 11:58 p.m. 2 minutes. She spun around and saw her reflection in the dark window of a closed shop. But it wasn't her. It was smirking and holding something. A note, pressed against the glass, scrawled in jagged ink.
Your voice is the next piece.
She backed away, but the reflection stayed, unblinking, still smirking. Then a hand, no, a replica of hers, slammed against the inside of the glass. Clawing, mouthing one word.
Mute.
Tara sprinted out of the alley. Her watch buzzed. 12 a.m., midnight. She opened her mouth to scream, to warn someone, but nothing came out. No sound, not even a breath. Her voice was gone. She clutched her throat, panicking, trying to speak, to shout, to cry. Nothing. Behind her, a soundless figure, moving like smoke. No footsteps, no shadow, just the outline of a man, wearing a paper mask, eyes drawn in red marker, a wide smile, carved from cheek to cheek. He held up a card.
Player 5, muted, watched.
And behind him, more figures, masked, watching, each holding cards.
Player 1, eliminated. Player 2, silence broken. Player 3, replaced. Player 4, expired.
The man stepped forward, held out the final card. Tara's name. Below it,
Recording now.
she turned. A drone hovered behind her, camera blinking red, broadcasting, live. Then, we're watching now. She knows the rules. She broke them. Time to play for real. Tara blinked. Once. Twice. She was no longer on the street. No city. No sky. Just red walls. Deep crimson. Dripping. Like wet paint. She turned slowly. The floor beneath her. Concrete. Cold. Stained. She wasn't alone. A figure sat across from her, back turned, staring at an old TV. On the screen, grainy footage of her in her room, sleeping.
We've been watching a long time.
Tara stepped back, her ankle scraped against something metal. She looked down. Chains, dozens of them, bolted to the floor, each one with a name tag.
Player 1, Player 2, Player 3, Tara.
Her tag glinted in the red light, still unlocked, but not for long. She tried to scream, but still no voice, only the echo of her breath and something else. A countdown, flashing on the wall.
59, 58, 57.
She wasn't just being watched. She was part of something, timed, structured, scripted, a game, one she didn't know the rules to, one she was already losing. The countdown hit 0, and the lights cut out. Then a dim spotlight snapped on overhead, blinding her for a moment. When Tara's eyes adjusted, she wasn't alone anymore. 5 figures stood in a circle around her, faces hidden behind smooth porcelain masks, each one painted differently. A smile, a frown, a scream, a blank stare, and one cracked.
Player 5, you've been observed.
One of them stepped forward, the smiling one. It held something in its hand. A small envelope, black wax seal, dripping. Tara backed up, frightened but defiant. "Who are you? What is this?" But no sound came, still voiceless. The cracked mask tilted, mocking. You were never supposed to leave the circle. Tara looked down.
Drawn beneath her, a chalk symbol.
An exact copy of the one she'd seen in the alley. A circle of eyes. All open. All watching. She wasn't just trapped. She was chosen. The masked ones all turned to the red door behind them. It opened on its own, creaking, grinding, ancient. And from the dock beyond it, a voice called her name.
You're late for your final round.
Tara stepped through the red door. And immediately, her vision blurred. The world shifted. Walls curved inward, floors pulsed beneath her feet like the building itself was alive. And then she heard it again. Her voice, speaking from the shadows.
I cheated. I left the circle. I broke the rule. I broke the rule. I broke...
She followed the sound, down a tight hallway. The walls were covered in handprints, dozens of them, all in black paint, some smaller than hers. At the end, a room opened, dark, empty except for a tall mirror, cracked, but standing. Tara moved closer and gasped. It was her reflection, but it blinked first, then it smiled.
You shouldn't have run. You made it harder. Now I have to wear you the long way.
She staggered back, but the reflection stayed, still smiling, still watching. Then it reached out from inside the mirror. Tara screamed, but no sound came. She turned to run and slammed straight into the masked figure with the cracked mask. It held up the envelope again. This time, it was open. Inside, a photo. Her, eyes gone, lips sewn shut. The back read,
Final round. Reflection.
She was no longer sure if she was watching herself. Tara ran, down halls that shouldn't exist, through doors that opened into staircases leading only deeper. Then she found it, a chamber, wide, stone walls, candles that dripped wax upward. And in the center, a tall, thin figure sat in a chair made of bones, face obscured, body wrapped in tattered ink-black robes. It held something in its hand, a ticking metronome. Tara stepped closer, and the figure finally spoke.
You broke the rule. You left the circle. You owe a forfeit.
Tara shook her head. No, I didn't ask for this. I never agreed.
You played, and now you must finish it.
The walls began to close in. The candle flames twisted, burning blue. The metronome stopped. And all at once, the figure stood. It lifted a long finger, pointing at Tara. And from behind her,
One must remain. One must stay. One must carry the game.
she turned and saw herself. Another Tara, bleeding, crying, crawling out of the mirror behind her. There were now two. The game master raised a coin, one side scarred, one side clean, and whispered,
Heads or tails?
Tara stared at the other her. Same face, same terror. The game master extended its hand. A coin balanced on its bony palm.
Choose.
Neither of them moved. Neither of them spoke. Because they both knew only one could leave. The other would stay in the game forever. Then the mirror Tara lunged. The room spun. Walls peeled like skin.
All players must obey.
Tara reached out, grabbed the coin midair, screamed, "Heads!" Heads. The mirror self smiled and vanished into black ash. The game master stepped back, bowed, and opened a door behind Tara. A door of white light, the first light she'd seen in what felt like years. She stepped through and woke up back in her bedroom just before sunrise. Phone by her bed. No missed calls, no messages, just one notification.
Thank you for playing.
She looked into the mirror, her reflection, blinked a half-second late, and whispered,
Your turn to invite the next player.
You heard the whispers. You saw what happened to the players, but you stayed. You watched. That makes you part of the game. Now, player number 2. Don't look behind the screen. Don't say the name aloud. And never, ever ignore the rules. Hit like if you're still alive. Subscribe if you dare to play again.